Okay, so let's talk about another Masternode that I doing a little bit of research on them. So before I continue with this video, I just wanted to say I'm not telling you guys to invest in anything. I'm just doing this all to keep a record of what I was thinking at the time of me actually wanting to start to invest in masternodes. I'm doing a lot of crypto trading because I just kind of feel like buying and selling on the exchange, and just waiting for coins to just, get pumped or waiting for them to finally start to go up. I find that that's just a little bit more rewarding for me because that means that I've done a little bit, I've done enough research to realize what was going to happen. So that's been a little bit more rewarding for me personally. So I'm going to start talking about more of my buy and sells, but I do want to also talk about coins that I'm looking to even buy into that already we're talking about. They're doing master nodes, their currencies. I've been a big fan of utilization tokens, little utilization coins, ones that basically, like for instance, like a poker app, one that you actually use the coin to actually trade, to actually play poker. So that to me just makes sense, right? The only problem with that type of app or that type of coin or a casino coin is that the value today is not tomorrow's value, which means that if you're killing it and you're making millions and millions of dollars, you're actually only making millions and millions of tokens, right? And if the value goes down because, I don't know, someone is caught cheating and you weren't cheating and you actually were doing pretty good, now the value of what you hold is worthless. Okay, so sometimes the coin makes a good run because it's a really good coin, and then sometimes it's just a really stupid idea and it didn't make no run whatsoever. So and a lot of times I don't like cryptocurrencies. I like altcoins, but I don't like the cryptocurrencies that are just currencies. Okay, I don't like knowing that all you're trying to do is just change the way we pay for stuff. I hate that. I just think that that's just a corny way of being. You know what I mean? I think that it shouldn't be like that. I feel like everything, Bitcoin, Ethereum, other coins like that are already like that. Why duplicate the process? So I usually hate that. But let's talk about these coins because I start to see a little bit of a value in what they're doing. So I'm trying to understand it a little bit more. So I'm doing more research. And as I do my research, I'm going to start to notate what I learn. Okay. So Fornix, right? So Fornix team has created a coin called Fornix, or AKA Fix, FIX, right? So right now they don't have a huge following, which is something I really like. I like to be one of the early adapters to something, especially when there's nothing out there like it, or sometimes, sorry, especially when there's not too much out there like it. Okay, so if you're gonna host a master node, you really want to be one of the early people hosting that node because later on you're not gonna be making as much. It's most of the time just selling the token is where you make all your money at. Okay, so they just hit on March 4th, which is a couple of days ago, on Crypto Bridge. So before that, they were selling on their own exchange, right? So if you wanted a master node, you had to go here and actually start to host a master node. What is that? Okay, so host a master node, and they will allow you to master nodes. Okay, so it says we have paid a listing fee, and will be listed in 12 hours. They have launched Fornix.com February 26th, and then they also have their Bitcoin talk, and then they kind of explain the proof of stake and all that good stuff, right? So on the website, let's just talk about what the website has gathered from the current time of them actually being up. Is that it takes about 16 days for you to get your ROI back, which is your return on investment. Okay, but then after 1 year, you should be getting about 2,000, which is 20 times what you've invested. So if you put in 3,000, they're talking about you should be walking 4,000, you should be walking away with about $80,000, right? That's just what they say. Again, that's only if the value never goes down, and they consistently give out the same exact amount in reward because of what's happening. So right now, 250 master nodes exist with this coin. It's a lot. Very early on, that's a very lot, right? So that means that they're very popular, and I can see the utilization of this coin being something that actually will come out and happen. Okay, so like I said before, about it says 90,000 here, but that's because they're taking the daily and they're multiplying it times 365, so it goes up a little bit higher. I just take the number and I just multiply it times like 50 or something like that, and then I usually get that number. So don't worry about it. I take the weekly number multiplied times 50. That's just me lowballing it because you're gonna be on the low end sometimes. So right now it costs about $4,000 to do a node because it costs 10,000 tokens, right? And you should get your money back in about 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks, like it says, about 16 days, so almost 2 weeks. and then you're looking at monthly almost doubling your money, right? So that's kind of how that works. And then daily you're looking at from your $4,000 making about $250 a day. So if we take that information, now we want to just see like what's realistic, right? So I used Dash last time. I'm not actually going to use it on this video, but I would recommend if you want, you can check out my other video. I'm trying to just show you guys where it's trading at currently, but Crypto Bridge is acting up. It wouldn't let me go in earlier, so it is what it is, right? So the value of it doesn't really matter because we can see it here. So they're saying last time they checked, the value of one masternode was 0.37, which makes that Bitcoin value is 0.0037 for one masternode. I'm sorry, 00. It's like four zeros, 37, right? For you to buy just one token, okay? But for you to buy a masternode, you need about this much, okay? Um, Sorry. Hopefully that's not interrupting my video. Okay. Uh, so let's look at a couple things, right? So one, you want to look at the Bitcoin talk because this is where all the information is. People that find things sketchy about this coin are going to notate it in here. I didn't really go through the comments and all that stuff, but it's just a lot of people just wanting people to jump in with them from what I had saw. I didn't go through all of them. So no, you're wrong. If you have POS without infinity supply, people would stop staking, which is very true. Run master nodes and networks will die when the block return stop, which is very true. But that doesn't mean the value will die. See, at the time of it releasing all of its coins, the value should be a particular value. So remember, when you stake, what you're doing is you're getting back coins in reward for holding coins on the network. So if you hold 10,000 coins and you're getting a reward every single day of 600, at some point when there's so many master nodes, they have to give out less of a reward because they don't want the supply to all come out within a couple years. You want it to go out over a certain amount of years, so the reward status will go down. Okay, so remember that information. Again, don't invest just because someone else is investing. I'm not telling you to invest. I just want to go over the information before I invest personally. Okay, so then it says at this moment in time, the IT environment is being modernized by two separate technologies, which is blockchain, as well as AI. Yet the innovation hasn't stopped for neither of the two. Therefore, what would happen is two technologies would unite. Okay, that's basically what they're trying to say, that they're trying to unite the two technologies, which would be really cool. I don't know exactly how they're trying to do that, but we'll try to figure that part out as we go along. This is the website. Okay, so let's go to the website because all the information is on there. So first thing I look at when I go to a website is I want to see if they have a team, right? So as of right now, you're not going to see who their team is, probably not ever, right? So you have to be very careful on investing because if there's no team, there's no one that's held accountable for their actions, okay? But at the same time, there is a team. That doesn't mean that people are still not held accountable. Some people will be held accountable, okay? All right, so, or even with a team, some people will not be held accountable. Okay, so let's look at the roadmap, right? So they did launch everything that they tried to do like a couple weeks ago, right? And then they're just now getting on exchange, okay? And then they have their web wallet and all the other good stuff, and then they're trying to have their web wallet, mobile wallet as well, and other exchanges sometime between April and June, okay? And then between July and September, they're trying to finalize all of this information here. So this is why I'm interested in it, because the more I can get back token-wise before they actually do this, the more money I should make, because it should actually boost the price up, right? So by quarter three, quarter four, I'm looking at this being I don't know, maybe $1 per token, you know what I mean? So it is very plausible that it could happen. You know, I don't know the exact value of the tokens now. Let's see. What we'll do is we'll go to the calculator. So it costs 10,000, right? It costs 4,000. Divide it up by 10,000. I think it's $4. 40 cents. So right now the coin is 40 cents. So I guess when I do this, I'm looking at this coin to probably hit about $5 before I sell. Since it's only 40 cents, maybe even more, depending on how fast I see it going up. So like if it jumps to 5 out of nowhere, I don't see myself selling it. I do see myself saying, wow, I had a really good idea when I bought into this coin, right? And I just want to know my mindset before I did it. So this is the other piece of information you guys were seeing in the Twitter, as well as in the as well as on the Bitcoin talk. This is just the staking rewards, right? So they're showing you what you have to create, right? So you'll end up with 200 tokens if you see something like 340. Sorry, I think it's backwards. Well, this is the reward. But if you okay, I think this is backwards. It's because the numbers are going up, the less and less there is. I don't know. But basically what it's supposed to explain, and I think that it's upside down. But as you guys can see here, let's just talk about one thing. The supply is infinite, which means that it will never stop. Okay, so at some point this value will either keep on going down, or will just never stop going up. But I think at some point it will hit a peak, and it will continue to go down. So, but anyway, I thought the reward, the way it was broken down, and I guess I'm wrong, but the way it was broken down when I first looked at it, I thought it was obviously this is the transactions here at the bottom. So if you're doing this many transactions, look how many you'll get in reward, which is 200. But as you can see here, you'll get less and less and less as you start to stake. More rewards will be less and less will be given out. So it's kind of weird to me that they're going to give you less the more transactions you do, or yeah. So you do this many transactions here at the bottom, but you're gonna get back less. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong, but it looks a little bit backwards. Um, but anyway, 10,000 is collateral, 50% in the master node block, 50% will be staking. Pipeline is only 3,000. I'm sorry, Premier is only 3,000. So right now, pre-mined, sorry, not Premier, pre-mined is 3 million. So it's only 3 million out there. So the value should start to go up. They have it on, I do use a Mac, so they do have it on the Mac right now, which is very, very useful for people like me since I use a Mac. Um, and they have the white paper. It is not very, very like in depth. It does have some like technical jargon on it, but it's not like super in depth. Like you're not gonna go through here and be super confused like you would with Simplicity. It's just more of like breaking down the exact same information that the website has, as well as what's on the Bitcoin Talk. It just breaks it down again as a way for you to walk around with it if you wanted to walk around with the white paper. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. The master nodes are starting to become a little bit more popular, so I just wanted to talk about them because somebody else asked me in the chat if there's anything outside of Bitcoin trading that I was doing and is looking into something like this, because this is something that a lot of people can do. So there are websites out there, and I'll go over them at another time, but there are websites out there. I don't know why I just blinked, but there are websites out there right now that you can do a shared master node, kind of like cloud mining, where you will actually get back a reward for buying into a master node that you don't personally host. Obviously, you won't make back as much as you would if you hosted it yourself. But remember, your master node must run on some sort of connected internet connection. So if you're not hosting on a VPS, or if you're not hosting on the computer, paying your electric bill or paying the VPS monthly charge, then you're going to be paying them. So you're gonna have to pay them a small amount. It's probably gonna be more than it would be if you hosted it yourself. Okay, so I wanted to break that part down and say that I do like this idea. I do wish that I knew who the developers were. It would make me a little bit less wary about investing, but at the same time, I personally will like to invest, and I don't think that anybody else should just invest off the strength of someone else investing. I think that everybody should just make sure that they are doing their own homework, as well as their own research, as well as their own due diligence before they do invest, and understand that investing or buying into something does not mean that you'll make $1 million or whatever someone else is promising you. It just means that you're investing. That's pretty much all that means. So remember, with this master node, if you buy 10,000, by the time you get 10,000 back, it'd be about a little bit underneath a month. So that's what they're saying. You'll probably double your investment within that time. So they're looking at it like that. But remember, that doesn't mean that the value of the coin will not plummet as well. As you guys can see, the value of the coin just goes up and down, up and down. It's been around 40 cents. So for me, that's a good sign that I might be able to get in at about 40 to 30 cents to buy my own master node. So I'll leave the notes down below, as well as all the links if you guys have any questions. All right.